Hello everyone, and welcome to HD Philosophy, the channel where we play a little bit of games and we discuss a little bit of philosophy. This is episode 4, where we try to tackle the new Elden Ring DLC that says it's much harder than the original game, with the Dark Lord of the Sith himself, Darth Vader, the mod that is only on the Darth Vader and what he's using. No other mod is being used here to kind of cheat. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. The mod is just Darth Vader in this world, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. But as usual, something on my mind before we jump into the game itself. You know, I'm a moral philosopher. For my philosophical journey started with logic, but really where I fell in love with philosophy is morality. And like many moral philosophers, you know, with a little bit of knowledge, it pulled me against God. But with a lot of knowledge, it brought me right back, to quote Sir Francis Bacon. And I'm beginning to see that morality may require God's existence. And when we look out in the world, there are certain things that seem to denote that there is a universal creator behind the wall. I mean, the very fact that mathematics works out all the time means there's an order to the universe. But why should there be an order to the universe? 1. And 2, how is it that human beings have a direct connection to not only comprehend it, but understand that connection as well? It's what the ancient Athenians would call the logos, the divine fire, the divine will. It's that which brings order to the world. So why is the world ordered in such a way, you know? And how do we have a perception of it? Alvin Plantinga did an amazing job. He produced like an evolutionary argument against naturalism, in which Alvin Plantinga discussed that if we were geared merely for survival, like a lot of animals are, just geared absolutely for survival itself, that does not necessitate that we would understand truth, or that we would have faculties that focus on truth itself, like reason does, right? Our faculties of reason that are aimed towards truth itself. It may be that I'm reading a lot of St. Thomas Aquinas right now, and the virtues and reasons are just bobbling around in my head right now. But what Alvin Plantinga determined was absolutely phenomenal. If we are just mere survival-based creatures, that doesn't mean that we're going to be geared towards truth. Think about this. There's that famous video of like the deer by the brook that's sipping at the water, and then it jumps out of the way real fast when like an alligator shows up, or a crocodile. I really don't know the difference. And it's instinct to jump out of the way. Now, Kant said, reason cannot be the faculty that is geared towards what would inevitably be survival, but the argument that David Hume was making, that reason is merely that which we use to seek out pleasure or avoid pain. And he's like, reason is the worst faculty for that. So getting back to Alvin Plantinga and the deer. So the gator comes out and the deer jumps out. This little doe, it's a young deer, jumps out of the way immediately, you know? And you look at that and you're like, what kind of instinct would this doe need to develop in order to have that kind of reaction speed to jump out of the way as soon as it does, you know? And what you end up understanding is, for the majority of that deer's life, or maybe all of that deer's life is probably a better way of putting it, for like every ripple, there's a hesitation, or like every kind of a wave coming in of clearly something's coming, it would just jump out of the way. But the instincts were fine-tuned to notice any kind of difference, any kind of ripple, and jump out of the way. How many times did that deer react with that flight to get out of the way when there was no crocodile? This is what Alvin Plantinga was determining, you know? We would react to things that are false. I would react to things in a way of avoidance, even if the thing isn't there. That's what necessarily happens in my instincts. So then, in order to survive, my instinct is geared towards survival, not truth. You see? And I'm fine-tuning this a little bit more in order for you folks to understand it. But, you know, how does that deal with, you know, ethics and God? Well, 1, there seems to be an ordering to the universe. 1. 2, there seems to be that we have a direct insight into that order. And 3, there is a legitimate argument that the virtues and ethics itself is the moral law that we have a divine apprehension towards. You see? And just this week, I don't care which political spectrum you are, you have to marvel at the beauty of God himself in people trying to lie and manipulate, and it just falling on their face. I don't know about you folks, but as a person who tries to follow the law more often than not when I'm driving, there are those people that overtake me, like speed around me, right? And I'm like, man, where's a cop when I need it? Why can't you pull this guy over right here, you know? And so I'm often searching for this karma, this cosmic karma, you know, to make sense of the world, that people who are breaking the law, you know, should be caught. And sometimes, I'll be honest, you know, I start to lose my faith in that divine order, that maybe there is no purpose, or maybe there is no justice, you know, in a very Kantian way, that justice requires like a lawgiver, a judgment, a person who can render judgment, that knows all the facts of the case, basically a Judeo-Christian concept of God himself. But this week, in the presidential debate, we definitely got a glimpse of that cosmic karma. And again, I'm not telling you folks which political side I am on, but I will say, when my kids ask me, you know, Dad, you know, how do I make sure I'm doing the right thing? It's like, look, you may not always know what the truth is, but you definitely know when you're lying, you know? And so what you can try to do is you can seek out the wisdom to see if you're right, but what you definitely can avoid is you can avoid lying, you know? Because when you're lying, you know the truth and you're deciding not to say it. So that is in the faith of, if I lied for a long time, that cosmic order would slap me in the face. And again, we got it at the presidential debate, because there was one side that got everything they wanted. It was one side that wanted to manipulate that debate so that they looked better. You know, they were allowed to pick the moderators. They were allowed to pick the time. They were allowed to set all of the parameters, you know? And again, I don't care which side you are on, I'm describing what happened here. But then what was the fallout? Their choices in trying to manipulate the situation, not having faith in God, not having the faith in truth. They wanted to manipulate their environment because they knew better. They didn't want to let God's will move forward and just move with the truth and have an honest debate. What they wanted to do is they wanted to stack the evidence in one favor. And what happened? That side failed miserably. They failed miserably because everything they were doing, it's like it promoted a lackadaisical side on that one side. Maybe they didn't take it as serious because they had everything stacked against them. But more importantly, the decisions they made to forego the live audience, to choose the debate moderators, all of that put this weird little eye on that other individual that tampered him down. You see, it is absolutely phenomenal when we think we know better. That we're like, I don't want you to get all of the information. I'm going to manipulate the scenario so that way you get what I say. And then it falls on their face. If you don't see God in that, I don't know what to do with you there. The fact that that happens right there, the fact that we as human beings, when we try to manipulate the world and bend it to our will, the world slaps us in the face because there is an order to the world. We have insight into that order. We do. But to think that we have the power to manipulate that order and bend it to our will, that's where lies come from, and that's where sin comes from, and that's when you get slapped on the face. And it was a wonderful thing to see, you know? So that's what's on my mind. I can't help it. But those of you who seek evidence for God's existence out in the world, there's your case in point. All right, so I suspect this one's going to be a tough one because I don't think this is a easy bad guy, but I think I have to go into some kind of tomb down here. So that's where we'll go. I would kill the guy, but I kind of like the music. Ah, another grace. Morth Ruins. Guess I'll take this. Touch the cross. I abandon here the flesh of my body. Ah, the freeing of the soul, eh? Let's get this first. Okay. There you go. Hair's mine now. Boom. Oh, how's that reach? He's got sword normals. Shout outs to the FGC crew. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It is a dungeon as far as I've seen. Because I was looking up shields that would match Darth Vader, and one of them is like this knight shield. Ooh, okay. I could kill him, but nah, I won't waste my time. The Bonnie Goal. Interesting. I hear it. And there's a, yeah. This isn't my first rodeo, everyone. I'm a Final Fantasy player. We check behind blind corners, you know? That's not something to grab. I was like, I could legitimately use it, but I didn't want to, but that's what we use when there's a lot of ads, so. Wow. He's a grappler. I got SPD'd. What, I gotta jump down there?
All signs point to yes.
And he's alive, yeah. Oh, grab it first, thank you. A broken rune. Jeez, this is not worth it. Ataru. I'm really glad it breaks poise, because if it didn't, it would be useless. They would attack me out of it every time. And another one? Uh-huh. Looked like he was going for that grab, everyone. Ugh. Oh man, this is a little tenacious one. And we are dedicated to the George Lucas style of lightsaber combat. Two hand, everyone, two hand. George Lucas is like, samurais would wield the katana with two hands. So when you two fight, both hands on the sword. These things are ugly. Oh, he's doing it again. Ah. That's why I'm terrible at these games. It's like I've seen it a couple times now and I still got hit by it. I need to adapt much faster. Is this the shortcut? No. Oh, whoa. That was almost like, psych, you're dead. Oh my goodness. I'm not checking my corners anymore. That's the last of it. Okay, so I need to be a little bit better. Can I not open that? Oh, come on. Oh, is this is this the beginning right here? I have no idea what that was. Y'all saw that? Unless there's a grace like right by it, or they do that Statue of America. They could do that right by the boss fight, which would mean, no, you're not. Oh, I'm gonna die. That's way too far down. Son of a bitch. Yeah, just wait. Just wait. I don't think I made a shortcut. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Wait for the back attack. Okay. And there's the boss. So I'm guessing Stake of America it is. And we're stuck here until we beat him. Ooh! He was committed. Committed to the throw. Oh, that was like one of those Geef charges right there. So, where's the Stake of America? Ugh. Alright, well. Alright, here we go, everyone. Sick. Okay. Not yet. So that's where I'm going. Yes. Man, how this shadow tree just kind of looms over this whole place. It is so incredible. Darth Vader looks so sick just lighting this. A friend of mine was like, you know, I was watching you play Elden Ring with Darth Vader, and Darth Vader legitimately makes it a different game. And I was like, you better believe it does. Like, that's why I'm like, the mod itself is just Darth Vader. I don't know what that sound was, but it's something. Is that an explosion? A great rune has been broken. And so too has a powerful charm. Whoa, okay. Something just happened. A great rune was broken. Gives you an idea, like, other things are happening around this world, you know? It's not just you kind of walking around, you know? Things are occurring. I still can't beat this guy. Shadow of the Erd Tree, indeed. As Darth Vader looks on. Oh, look at that. That's so funny. I was just checking something out, and here is how we get to the top. Oh, come on. No? I guess not. Can't even drink that. Okay. Not gonna be a boss fight? No? Person to talk to.
Well, we don't often receive visitors.
Well, the door was locked, so.
Welcome to Manus Meta. It is a pleasure to have you. In lands so forsaken as these, chance encounters are precious indeed.
It's like Chancellor Palpatine.
Convened here on this day, allow me to mark the occasion with a modest offering.
Whole laden necklace, alright. And ruins map. Some more ruins maps, eh?
The map I gave you charts the site of a hallowed ruin It is said that after sounding the hanging bell there, one's fate will be guided by the star. I only wish to be of service to help those who fight for their purpose. I'm not mistaken, am I? I can see it in your eyes. You are a fighter, are you not? We study the star you for long ago. We too, is that
Serve the
divine?
greater will.
Is that, and yet none can fathom its implication.
Yeah, philosophers have been studying for quite some time what the good means, but you also have the will to do good, you know? So yesterday, it just so happened, I was reading Thomas Aquinas, and Thomas Aquinas was discussing the differences between like the virtue and the intellectual virtues versus the good virtues, right? And if you could have one without the other. And it was like, you can imagine certain intellectual virtues kind of existing on their own, you know? But when you come to the moral virtues themselves, it's like there were certain aspects of the moral virtues that hinge upon what is considered good reasoning or prudence. And Thomas Aquinas was discussing how prudence was kind of like a middle between both. So in order for me to be moral, I have to be, and this is why he said, you know, morality or virtues cannot be habit. He was like, if I'm going to be moral inclines good reasoning for you doing something. So it's almost like a good act cannot just be an accident, you know? And that's one of the issues when it comes to habitual behavior, you know? So I remember the Confucians, they were very skeptical of something not being a part of habituation, as in you learn the foundations of morality, especially in like a Confucian virtue. You learn the foundations from a very knowledge-based sense. You learn what is filial piety being like respect for your family. You learn what is uprightness, in order to stand upright to the pressures of the immoral, right? So you have these virtues, and with the foundations of the knowledge, you eventually use them in the world so that when new novel scenarios show up, you've kind of built this bridge in your head. That's the habituation. The idea that you learn from a foundation and then you try to apply that from scenarios that absolutely make sense. And again, these are the things that you kind of learn without the habituation. You learn it through the books themselves, and you study what it means to be filial. And then you apply it to situations that obviously make sense from the things you learned in your book. Very centered area of like your family, and then you move that from your friends to your family. But the move from family to friends, that nobility, is seen as a bridge. You only build that bridge to novel moral lessons by acting them out in the world. So that's the habituation, you know? That's the habituation when it becomes a part of your custom and habit. Something Aristotle believed virtue was. Virtue is formed through custom and habit. But Aquinas was really skeptical of this, because if it's coming from habituation, and he said, you know, when you're sleeping, you cannot be moral when you're sleeping, it's because your reason is turned off. And it seems like you would have certain habits that might incline you a certain way while you're sleeping, but those wouldn't be virtuous right there. That's kind of one of the objections he gives to why virtue cannot be a habit, you know, because they were obviously arguing that virtue is kind of a form of the passions. Anyway, what you can gather from this, though, is there is this dichotomy of, is it habituation or is it mere reason? And St. Thomas Aquinas, and I tend to think he's correct in this avenue, is in order for it to be moral, it needs to come from reason to affect one's passions, you know? In order for the virtue to be a mean between two ends, vice and excess, courage, for example, is a mean between two vices, excess and deficiency. You can have too much courage and then it's not courage at all. You could have too little courage and it be like the vice of courage, right, which is cowardly. So you got rashness and cowardliness. So it is only a virtue if it's coming from a reasoned decision to be courageous that then affects the passions, you know? So for Thomas Aquinas, he believed the passions were almost like reversed, where it comes from habit. Coming from habit means it comes from instinct, or it comes from the passions, and then the reason is demonstrated afterwards. That's the reverse right there. So what he determined was, in order for it to be moral, it needs to come from reason first and then move through that right there. And it's probably because Thomas Aquinas is kind of on my mind that I'm thinking about it. But I do believe morality is intricately linked. Is this the boy?
I've no
Intimately
talk.
connected
My only concern
with reason.
Concerns of Count Emir. And you are
So funny. Anytime I pick up the Summa Theologica from Thomas Aquinas, I am just captivated with its insight. All right, so that cathedral was for an NPC. Good to know. But that right there, that's the final boss right there. I mean, that it can be nothing else than the final boss, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of dead people popping up. A lot of Biden supporters. I kid. Wow. Okay. I haven't fought somebody like that before, but like so many of you, it's going to be quick. Is this the fight though? Already? Yes, it is. A golden hippo? Telling you all, darts on a dartboard, man. And I went right into the ground. That should kill me. Oh, if it was a real hippo, it would have killed me. I can't see anything now. Yeah. Golden hippopotamus. Darts on the dartboard. I was like, make it happen. This is my kind of enemy design right here. All right, here we go. All right, golden hippo. Let's do this. Oh, you're coming straight at me, so.
He is as clumsy as he is stupid.
And in. If he's coming straight at you, you shouldn't, like, attack then. It's an odd attack structure. Had to put that explosions. Interesting. No, they had to put the explosion because I would have beaten it if it didn't have that AoE. Those who watched my bail know exactly how I feel about like the AoE spam in this game. Wow. Wow, No, his movements are weird. It's so delayed. No. Oh, come on, really? That's a pretty wicked side hit. Oh, man. What am I doing that? Like, it takes way too long. Oh my god, that side. Yeah. Yeah. Nice, but oh wow, the move around, huh? Hippopotamus porcupine! So we found his weak spot. One of the issues is he does have a 180 turn to the left. So, I mean, I can try to roll that when I see it. The dance is going to be almost useless here. I know it's tempting. But given how far he moves, see, look how far. That was me attacking twice there too. See, that run. I may only get one hit. Yeah, I can't see. And they absolutely rely on that. They absolutely rely on that. All of these games, and they keep the camera right there. They keep the camera right pulled in there. Really? Are you serious? You delayed it just in enough time. Yeah, I can't see. Which is absolutely what they rely on. Yeah, this is what I get to see. Alright, this is the last one. I'm almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes here, so I have a lot of editing to do on this one. I can't see. And they relied on it. Absolutely relied on it. I'm gonna die because I can't see. You had that too, you knew it. I knew it. He's gonna do it again. Okay. Got him, everyone. We got him. All right. Thank you for joining me. Really, a lot more exploring than bad guys, although we did fight that hippo right there. But as usual, take some time with the classics, because they will awaken the hidden dragon within all of you, and I'll see you next time.